Hello, everyone. I am just a minute early, making sure that all my devices work so we don't cut into our actual stamping time here. I gotta keep refreshing my other screen to get myself brought up here. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend. Ours was a little bit busy. It kind of just makes time fly when you are busy like that, right? I did tell you guys the previous week, I just felt like it drug on and on and on. It really was kind of nice to have a slow week, but now it kind of caught up to us. It doesn't happen very often, but it was kind of nice to have that. Um, so yeah, we have had some crazy weather come through. We've had some pretty like crazy winds that have come through here. Luckily, nothing has been damaged. It did knock a couple of things over, but other than that, it's been okay. We haven't really had much rain, but as we've been watching the weather around, the US, whatever, because as you guys know, we are heading up northwest up in Oregon coming the last 2 weeks of September. So, of course, we're kind of watching things and seeing how things are because it's just a couple of weeks away from us. And so, yesterday I turned the news on, and so crazy, or I turned the Weather Channel on. So crazy that, like, through the Nevada mountains and stuff, they had snow. They had snow in Washington up at Mount Rainier. They uh they were saying that it was just been super crazy. Like they have not had snow in an August for like over 20 something years that it has been. So I'm like, oh God, of course, the year that we plan on. See, Mount Bachelor had snow, which is right there, right above Portland, Oregon. So it's like, holy crap. I do not want to get stuck in snow. Oh, no, no, no. And that's why we chose to do September because from when we lived there, granted, that was 10 years ago, almost actually 11 years ago, but I don't remember there being crazy weather like in September. I just remember September was kind of our mild month. It was when the kids were just going back to school. So it's just bizarre that the year that we picked to go up there, they have snow up in that area. So luckily it wasn't like crazy snow. They were actually, I was telling my husband about it yesterday when he got home from work. And then today he was watching the news and he goes, oh my God. He goes, you're right. I go, you think I was lying to you? He's like, no, but I really just wanted to see it for myself. I was like, okay, now you know, buddy. And he goes, that is wild. And I said, yep, you're right, it is. So hopefully we don't run into any kind of bad, crazy weather. We did. I was, we've been again watching the weather, and I know up by Grand Canyon they had some major flooding up there. People got stuck in the Grand Canyon. One girl actually lost her life, and it's just like, what the heck is happening with our crazy weather? Like, it's almost kind of scary to want to go anywhere, but you know what? YOLO, we're doing it, and we need to see some family and some friends. And, what's the point of living if you can't enjoy life and go out and do the things that you enjoy? Nowadays you just have to be a little bit more cautious. That's how I'm going into it. But yeah, so now we're starting to let our friends and family know when we're going to be coming into town up there. So yeah, we're very much looking forward to getting away and seeing everybody and getting away from the heat that we have down here and going up to the much cooler weather. So now it's just kind of a scramble because this coming up weekend, we have Comic-Con coming up and we are trying to get our booth set up. My really good friend of mine, she does graphic designs. And yes, it did rain. It does rain all the time in Oregon. Absolutely. That's kind of one of the main reasons why we moved. But now we live where it hardly, I mean, we get monsoons here, but it doesn't rain much here in Arizona. It's just hot and dry, which is actually a much better condition for my daughter to be in versus being in the moist rain all the time. Hello, Wendy, you made it. So let's say hi to everybody before I keep going on here. Hello, Becky. Hello, Linda. Hello, Georgia and Frida. Hello, Lisa and Vicky. Welcome, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in and watching tonight. So yeah, I forgot where I was going now, what I was talking about. Well, yep, gone just that quick. It's called aging. Not everything works correctly up there, but that's okay. So yeah, we are just kind of, oh, that's what I was talking about, Comic-Con. So we are just kind of scrambling to get everything together. My really good friend, she does graphic designs. So she actually set up the graphic design for my husband's company. And I was kind of talking to her about a couple of things that I have ideas for. But in all honesty, we're kind of running out of time because it is coming up this weekend. And Comic-Con is not a paper crafters kind of thing. So I'm just going to wing it this time. I'm just going to go with the flow for it being my first kind of show kind of thing. And then I definitely know that the upcoming years we are going to be starting, especially this next year, we're going to be starting doing craft fairs and that kind of stuff. That is something that I definitely want to get into. Is there a way to get accurate weather path from AAA? Actually, we do have an app that we go through. It's called RV Life, and it is a phenomenal app. I can't believe it's as cheap as it is because of the things. You didn't want to say that that was aging. Oh, honey, I know. I have been feeling it for a while. So it actually kind of tells you everything that is coming up in your path. So it actually marks out our whole path, how we've planned on going. It actually has RV places that you can pull and stay at, depending on the price that you want to stay. It shows you the different restaurants that are around. It tells you gas stations. It's a really great app to have. And so I was watching a couple of YouTube videos on, what is the best way to go and what is the best routes to take. And everybody was bringing up this RV Life app. So I went ahead and purchased it because I was like, you know what? I want to make sure, because you can actually set the length of your RV, the height of your RV. You can set whether or not you have propane on board. Just crazy things that you wouldn't really think about until you do start traveling. And it's kind of wild because back east, like I've never, been back there, but there's tunnels and you cannot drive through the tunnels if you have propane on board your RV. Like, who would have thought? Not me. I would have never known that. This RV tells us the routes to avoid if there's any kind of tunnels that have that restriction on it. Another thing is height restriction. Like there's a lot of underpasses that we are too tall to fit under, especially not only because of the coach, the size of the coach, but because we've got all the AC units that sit on the top of the coach that actually add another like 4 inches to the top of us. So there's those kinds of things that you have to really watch. And this app knows street by street, road by road, bridge by bridge, all the height restrictions. Now, could there be flaws? Absolutely, because it was a human person who made it. So, I'm not going to hold anybody at fault there. But from what I've heard, nobody has really ran into any issues with it. So, again, another reason why I purchased it. But, yeah, so we go through it. And if there's any kind of cautions, they'll let you know on there and they'll tell you you need to be rerouted, and they do it in an ample amount of time that you can actually like loop around, because when you are in a big thing like that, say you come up upon something that you're not going to fit the clearance underneath it, what do you do? Like, that's kind of something I think about. What would happen? Like, you would block traffic. They would have to have somebody come out and help you turn that sucker around. I mean, because you couldn't go under it. It would rip the whole roof off of your RV. So just stupid, crazy things that you don't think about until you have something like that. Hello, Kay. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Miss Vicky Bowler. All right, you guys. I see that a lot of you guys are coming in here, and I thank you so much for being with me tonight. We are going to go ahead and get you guys flipped around. So other news, Mom's car, we went to pick it up on Saturday because they were doing the detailing and all the cleaning and all the fine things to it when you buy a car. And we went in on Saturday to pick her car up. Bad idea. We should not have went in on a Saturday. Okay, so their service and parts, oh, and they were making her a new key fob. That's the other thing. That was the main reason why it needed to go in. But because when somebody had like traded that car in, they didn't bring the second key fob. So that was part of the deal when she bought this car, is that, so the guy comes in and he makes it and whatnot. But then they say that they have to keep the car overnight because they had to clean it and get the, you know, when they put the big stickers up on the window for like the year and the sale price, they had to clean all that stuff off of there. So when we went to pick it up on Saturday, I had told my mom, I said, I go, make sure that they have that other key fob that they made for you. Number one, we should have taken it the day that they made it. They didn't need both key fobs, but we didn't. Okay. It happens. And so we went in on Saturday to pick up her car, and they couldn't find any of the key fobs. The dealer guy's there. He is such an amazing kid. Really, really nice. If I go to buy a car, I will definitely be going through him. But anyways, he said, he goes, for your guys' time and trouble, I know you guys live very far away. He goes, we're going to wind up giving you guys a gift card because you've now spent your time coming in here, and the keys were supposed to be left at the front desk. That is what this service person told us. And that Saturday would work fine. They would have the keys up there. Well, when the kid came up that we asked, he goes, they're not here. I was like, oh God, geez. Well, somebody needs to hunt these keys down, or you're going to be giving my mom her money back. Plain and simple. So it is what it is. They'll find it. They know where they're at. They probably are back in the service area, and probably somebody forgot to bring them up, but whatever, they'll figure it out. So we have it planned tomorrow. She has a doctor's appointment, so we will go in tomorrow. She'll have her doctor's appointment, and then we will go pick up her car, and then hopefully we don't have to deal with any more of this back and forth stuff. All right, so there is kind of how our weekend was in a nutshell. I actually got my fish tank up and going. I have my big 75-gallon tank, so I got all that switched around yesterday. So that was my huge project for my Sunday. So there you go. All right, you guys, hold tight. I'm going to get you guys flipped around. We're going to get into a little bit of business. We're going to do our giveaways, and then we are definitely going to get into tonight's class, which I am going to be sharing with you guys the Adventurous Sky along with the Adventurous Sky dies. Ooh, that's kind of a tongue twister. Adventurous Sky dies. Don't say that 3 times fast. But this is a wonderful set. This makes some great masculine cards. It is got some really cute, like little pun sentiments in it. But I will show you a little bit up close of this when we get there, and we're going to be using the paper that goes along with that as well. Okay, so hold tight. Let me get you guys flipped around here. Okay, I think we are pretty good right there. So I am Danny Gorilla, Pink Barn Stamper. Most of you guys already know who I am, or you wouldn't be here, but just thought I would just tell you, if you're new, who I am and what I'm about. So we are waiting to get the air conditioning put together inside of the pink barn so we can get all my stuff moved out there, and I can start getting all my craft stuff moved out there. I'm probably not going to be up and ready to go before we go on vacation, but I am hoping that when we get back, I can then start doing my videos out in the barn. So that's just kind of the update on that. Hello, Linda. Hello, Kim. Welcome. And Denise, welcome, you guys. Thanks for coming in. I know. I miss my mom's fancy coffee also. Trust me, girl. I know. That's, you know, what's kind of funny is so when we go to the car dealership, they have this kind of little coffee pot thing there that makes kind of little fancy coffees. Not as fancy as my mom's, but we go in there and I'm like, hey, maybe we need to come to the car dealership more often because they may have pretty good coffee here. And the other thing that's kind of funny is that, so my mom, she just bought this car, our truck. My husband went to go do his, you guys know that he goes to the mall and he does his D&D. He does the, he's the dungeon master or whatever the heck it's called, but or dragon master, I don't know. But anyways, he goes to the mall and our truck breaks down at the mall. And so I've been trying to explain to him that number one, him as one person does not need to be driving a Suburban that is a gas hog and it's 4-wheel drive. So again, it takes even more gas. And so I keep trying to get him to just go buy a little economic car because of where we live. We're so far out that he's driving back and forth to work. He doesn't need to waste all that space in a big vehicle for one person. So ironically, our truck broke. He just pulled into the mall on Sunday and he couldn't get it started. Coincidentally, it was kind of crazy. There was actually a tow truck driver driving past him when he pulled into the parking spot. So he flagged the tow truck driver down. And then he got it worked out where he paid the tow truck driver to bring the truck home. I was home, so he gave me the keys and dropped the truck off. But now I'm like, okay, maybe this is telling you that it's time to get a car. But he's such a procrastinator about it. Shh, don't tell him that I said that. But he is. He's like, I hate buying cars. I'm like, but you've never... And this is what frustrates me. I'm like, you work hard. You bust your butt for your family. We now have, you know, the income that you can go buy yourself a car. Like, quit thinking that you're not worth something that is new and nice and that you're not worth having that. And he's like, I just don't want to have a car payment. I'm like, you know what? Life is about car payments. We did it when we didn't have money, like when we were still raising 3 kids and that we were, you know, making a horrendous, like back in the day when we had to pay rent and all that kind of stuff. I was like, we had 2 car payments back then. So you can definitely afford a car payment and you're worth it. And so it's time to just buck up, my friend, and go buy a car. So he was kind of laughing at me earlier. I go, or you can take my car because, I mean, that's always an option, and I'll go get a new car. And he just kind of rolls his eyes at me. I was like, well, I mean, I'm not afraid to go buy one. And I'm not afraid of car payments. It's just a thing. So it's just kind of funny how our roles are so different and we think so differently. And I'm just like, well, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And if I have to be the bigger person to go do it, I'm not afraid of car payments. And Kim, and that's exactly that. And that's what I tell him. I go, do you know what you pay in gas would not pay a car payment? But I'm like, I'm not telling you to go buy a Mercedes. I'm not telling you to go buy a fancy, you know, G-Wagon or anything. Go buy something that is just little. And that's what I tell him. I said, you used to drive a little Honda Accord all over the place. You loved it. You knew that it was great on gas. You knew the thing could just zip around town. You're not trying to find big parking spots like you have to do now. And he's like, well, you know, we have to haul things and do stuff. I go, well, I'm not saying that get rid of the truck. I'm just saying it's paid for. It's ours. We can have it. It's got 4-wheel drive if we need it. But at the end of the day, to be driving that big thing back and forth to work is just not a practical mindset. And that's what I said. I go, for what you would save in gas is going to definitely reap the benefits of you driving that. And that would kind of pay for itself in the long run, having a little car like that. So I've just got to keep talking him through it and da 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 da. All the things. Okay, so for the next half the month, we can still get the September Autumn Abundance. This is going to be great for your fall autumn cards. It says, share your love for all things autumn with this kit. Now you can subscribe to this through September 10th is this kit here. It's going to make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, includes printed cards and coordinating envelopes, laser cut card fronts, ephemera pack, and the embellishments that are going to come with this. It says, don't miss the whimsical watercolor ephemera pack that's going to be with this. So as you can see, this little yellow leaf up here, if you go ahead and purchase the add-on, this went with the last current quarter, so the last 3 kits that we have had for Paper Pumpkin. This little leaf is going to coordinate quite well with this. I've actually, been thinking about, you could probably use the hooray or the flowers in with that also, because if you have these kits, you already have the kits that are going to match these. So you can even do some of the flowers in fall colors and go ahead and use it for that as well. So you can get creative with it. That's kind of the fun thing about Paper Pumpkin, is you can mix and match your kits. We still have our sale going for a short period of time through the end of this week. The designer series paper sale is still going on. So you're going to save 15% off on 14 of our designer series paper. I'm actually going to be using the Take to the Sky 12 by 12 paper today, just so you know that that is on that sale. If you have not redeemed your bonus coupons, again, this week, you will need to place your orders and redeem those coupons. I still have some coupons that I need to redeem. I need to make sure that I mark this on my calendar and I redeem those coupons. I have not done that yet. When I did my big pre-order, I forgot to put them on there. So I need to make another order and get my coupons used, because I don't want to miss out on that either. Okay, so because we are going to be leaving the last 2 weeks of September, I'm going to be doing mystery stamping early this coming up month. So I'm just giving you guys kind of a heads up. I will be doing the supply list on the 4th, which is a Wednesday. I will put the supply list out for mystery stamping. We will be actually doing the live on the 11th, which the live will be over on my Facebook group, which is Pink Barn Stampers group. That is where you will find me live Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. And then I will draw the winner on the 18th. So there are the dates. You will see the post over on my blog, pinkbarnstamper.com. The post will go live on the 1st of September. Then you can read all about what mystery stamping is, how you participate in it, and when you can find the supply list for that. So just so you guys know. And then if you have not gotten your catalogs yet, I have had a couple people tell me that they have started getting their catalogs. So you should, if you are one of my current customers, you should start seeing yours come in the mail. If you haven't already got it, it should be there by this week, because you will be able to start purchasing out of this catalog. It will go live to everybody on Wednesday the 4th. Just so you know, if you are not a current customer of mine and you would like one of these catalogs, you can find my email down below in the description of this video here on YouTube. You can email me and let me know that you would like a copy of this. If you don't have a copy of the annual catalog, it would be a great time to add that one on there as well, because it does save me on shipping if I ship you both catalogs at the same time. So if you don't have this, please let me know so I can get it in the mail along with the mini catalog. Because that does still have a continuation going through, what is it? April 30th of 2025. So you've still got a full half a year to be able to purchase out of that catalog also. But I just want you guys to know that I do have these in stock and I can ship those out to you now if you are not a current customer and you would like your copy of that, because the hard copy is definitely better than seeing it online. It will go online PDF form Wednesday the 4th, that everybody can see that when you guys are able to purchase inside of that catalog, because we're not allowed to show any of the inside of that catalog right now until it actually does go live. Okay. I have a little bag of hot tamales that I am going to open because my mouth has been actually very, very dry lately. I'm assuming it's because of our crazy weather. And sometimes I just like to have a little bit of that minty, or it's actually cinnamon, not mint. Okay, let me grab the giveaways. Get myself put back together here. All right. So when you like, comment, and share this video, you will be entered into the giveaway for the cards that I make this week. So hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that you like my video. Share this video. When you hit that share button, it's going to bring up a couple of different options down there. You can choose where you want to share it, but just make sure that you come back in and you comment and let me know. Just write the word shared in there. That's all you have to do. That will get you entered into the giveaway. And it's also going to get you entered into the commenting because you've just commented that you shared. So it's kind of a win-win. Last week, I used the iconic imagery for our class. This is one of the cute little holiday season cards that I created. Now let me find what I just did with there it is. I was going to say I had a sticky note that had everything written on it, and now I don't know what the heck I did with it. For liking last week, this card here is a really cute little Christmas card to kind of get you in the mood for getting ready for the holiday season and making those cards. This one here is going to go to Miss Vicki Ekins. So Vicki, this is going to come your way. Thank you for liking my video. Also, make sure that you tell me that you like the video as well, because it will not give me the names of the people who throw thumbs up for me. So make sure that you comment that you have liked the video as well. And be sure to make sure you hit that subscribe button, so then it will let you know every week when I go live. All right, so Vicki, this is going to come your way. Again, that's what the inside looks like. Oh, awesome, Linda. I'm glad that you got your copy. I like it when you guys let me know that you've gotten it, so then I know that actually it's going in rotation around and everybody's getting their copies. Okay, for commenting last week, we made this really cute little card. I made almost like a little shadow box here and stamped in the inside of that. This one here is going to Jen W. I don't know what I don't know what your last name is. When I went to look, when you popped up on there, it didn't tell me your full last name, but it said Jen from Washington. For commenting last week, this goes to you. I do not have your address. I think you are new to watching me. So if you could please look in the description below, find my email down there. It's in 2 different places on there, just so you can make sure you can find it. And this card is going to be coming to you. So congratulations. Then for sharing last week's video, We did this super cute little fall card. We flagged the ends of our little pieces of designer series paper here and put some leaves on there, made just a really fun, simple, clean fall card. Put a couple of those little leaves on the inside. This one, along with a package of iridescent pearl basic jewels. These are really pretty. You can see the iridescence on these. These are really fun because you can actually add them to a lot of different colors, and those colors actually pop with the iridescence of these pearls. This is going to Mary Russin. Mary Russin, you shared last week's video. Again, I do not have your address also. I'm assuming you're also new to me. Welcome. But you have won this card along with the iridescent pearls. But I do not have your address, so I do need you to do the same thing. Go down below, find my email address. It's stampinthepinkbarn@gmail.com. Make sure you pop me an email. If you're on Facebook, you can also go to Pink Barn Stamper and you can find me there, and you can send me a message through there also. But congratulations, everyone. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing and commenting on my videos. It truly helps me so much that you guys interact with me. All right, so tonight's kit, we are going to be making 3 different cards. So when you shop with me this week through Saturday the 31st, you have until midnight Pacific time. So a lot of you guys that are Eastern time, you guys will be a little bit earlier than me. So when you shop with me and you use my current host code, which is for the month of August, this will be changing on Sunday, or actually probably on Monday when I actually change my my kit. When you use this host code, and you must spend $35 in product or more to get this weekly kit. It is my thank you gift coming your way when you shop with me and you use that host code, which is what helps me be able to give those giveaways that I give away every week. So just so you know why I ask you guys to use my host code when you shop with me. Now, there is a discretion to that. So if you spend over $150 in my online store, do not use my host code. You're going to still get this kit from me, but you're going to get some rewards, and I want you to have those. You've earned them. So just so you know that this is the kit that is for this week, and this kit coordinates with the Adventurous Sky. So you will have to have the Adventurous Sky set to complete the cards as I'm showing tonight. I will be using one of the circles from the Stylish Shapes dies. I will be using one of the circles in here, but I will make sure that I die cut this for you in your kit. As you're going to see, I have one already pre-cut in here. But because this is kind of an add-on, I always make sure I put anything extra that I use in your kits for you, so you don't have to have all the things, but you just have to have the main set that I'm showing to be able to complete the cards that I have intended for the week. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out with my first card here. Let me get my samples put up here so I can see what I got going on, if I can get it to stay. Okay, this one's got some fun goodies in here. You're also going to get your envelope as well. Now, I want you to know that when you open up your card, well, I didn't put an inside to this one, so hold on a second. Let me grab one. So when you open up your card, you're going to pull all your pieces out of your envelope, and when you do, you're going to find everything that goes on the front of your card on the front side here. Anything that goes on the inside of your card is going to be on the back of your card base. This will be your card base, is the big piece that's in there that has a score line in it. That will kind of be your cue to know that what goes on the inside and what goes on the outside of your card. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for the moment. Actually, I'll put it over here. This is our card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You will find all the measurements for all the cards that I am sharing with you tonight over on my blog tomorrow morning. pinkbarnstamper.com is where you're going to find my blog. And it will have the shopping list to everything that I'm using here tonight. It's also going to have some still photos of the cards that I've created. And you're going to also find the replay of this video there, along with the dimensions and the scoring that I have talked about tonight. Okay, so then what we need next is we have a piece of basic black. This is 5 by 3 3/4. Then we have a piece of white. This is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So it's just going to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than our basic black piece. I then have a scrap of copper clay. I have a piece of our designer series paper. This is 1 1/4. Now I will cut this down to be the same size as this. So it's going to be, what did I say that was? 3 7/8. No, 3 5/8. It will be in width. And then I have a scrap piece of black that I will show you once we get all this together. So let me grab, for this one, we're going to be using the big airplane here. We also need a piece of, where did I put it? I think I put it in the wrong card. Well, I thought I had it here. I had all my scraps, but unless I put it away, because that would be so something I would have done. We also need a piece of, this is the silver foil sheet. This comes in 12 by 12. That DSP that I am using, the designer series paper here, this is called Take to the Skies designer series paper. Now you might be asking, why are you missing part of your paper up there? Because you do get the 12 by 12s. This one here is one of the sheets that you get, and you've got all these tags down here that you can cut out. Then you've got these sizes, and then you've got these ones up here. Well, in order to put a sample on here, I would not justify it by cutting this paper apart to share with you that sheet that does come in here as well. But just so you can see that it does have some extra pieces that do come on a sheet of that. You actually get 2 of those. But then these are the other coordinating papers that come in here. You've got some beautiful dark, more on the neutral side. You've got boho blue, copper clay, mossy meadow, night of navy, and smoky slate that are all coordinating with this beautiful paper. And I know I've had a couple people ask if I was going to be doing the paper share for that mini catalog. And I have decided to opt out of doing a paper share for this catalog just because we are going to be leaving the 3rd week of September. I didn't want to get myself in over my head and have things not be shipped in time before we leave, and then either delay our vacation or delay paper shares. So I opted out to not do a paper share for this catalog. And I know that made a lot of people disappointed in me, but it's just one of those things that I had to make that decision that I wasn't going to do it this time. But I will definitely be doing it for the January catalog when we get that mini catalog. Just so you know that I will be back on schedule. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our stamps. So I'm going to be using this big airplane along with the 2 smaller clouds over here. So we're going to get that cloud mounted. I was working on birthday cards for the month of September today, so I didn't get all of my stuff mounted like I normally do for you guys. So you don't have to wait for me to mount all of my stamps, but we're good. We will make do with what we have. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm just going to take my designer series paper and see what we've got going on here. So I can see that I've got pretty much this like I've got an inch to kind of play with over here. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my tuxedo black memento, and I'm going to start out with my airplane. And I'm just going to put that airplane just right here in the center, like it's just flying on through, like so. And I do hold that stamp down for a few minutes to let that marinate into that paper. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to stamp this cloud. So we know this paper is going to go over that. So we're just going to see a little bit of that cloud peeking through there. Grab the medium-sized cloud. We're going to do that one there. And then we'll do that small one more time right down here. Let's grab this larger one. We're going to stamp it right there. Okay, that looks good. I think I do have another one stamped right here, but our sentiment is going to cover that. But that's okay. We'll just put it there just for the time being. Let me grab my chamois here and get all my extra bits that I went over my paper. Okay, so there is that. Let me cover my ink so I don't wind up getting that everywhere. Now I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm just going to adhere that over on the right hand side. Okay, just like that. And I'm lining it right up against the edge of that white. Okay, now we know this piece is a little too long, so I'm just going to cut that extra bit off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this right to the black layer. Again, you're only going to have that very little bit of that black showing through. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to take our little black strip and we're going to cut this down to 1/4 of an inch. So go to the first big mark over here, or you can do your 1/4 inch over here, either way. Either one works. Just like so. So we've got, actually, you know what? I want a 1/2 inch. Oh, look, and cutting that off gave me a perfect 1/2 inch. 1/4 of an inch is not what I want. I want 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch by, what did I say that was? That was our 3 5/8. So I need to just go to 3 5/8 here and cut that. Okay, and that strip is just going to go right over that and kind of just separate our designer series paper from our white part there. It just kind of covers that seam. I like covering the seams up, especially with a dark contrasting color. And I'm just going to place that right like so. Guess I could have probably moved that plane over just a skosh, but it works. We can still see it. Now, right here on our silver piece, I'm going to grab the Adventurous Sky dies. And what I want from here is I want to grab my little propellers. And I'm going to run those through the die cutting machine. Now, kind of the nice thing about this die is it cuts 2 of them at one time. So as you can see, that cuts 2. So I've got 2 of those right here. I only need 1, but it gave us 2. It's a twofer. Okay, so there is that. Then we are going to take our piece of the copper clay. We're going to cut that down as well. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take my adhesive, and there's the little dot right where the propeller is, right in the center. And I'm just going to attach that, adhere it, right like, I think I'm going to put it kind of like this. Well, no, let's go opposite of what the plane is going. I'm just going to stick that down, kind of lift those propellers up to make it have a little bit of dimension to it. You could use a glue dot or a, not a glue dot. Yeah, mini glue dot. You could actually use one of those. And all you do is take it and roll it up and make a little ball where it looks like a little booger. Okay, and then we are going to take this piece here, and we need to cut that down to 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch piece with that little strip. And let's take the sentiment. We're going to use "You're the best," plain and simple. I love the little puns that this one has. I wish more of our stamp sets had cute little, kind of like little one-liners like that. I really think that it just kind of ties everything together. Let me grab open my black up here again. So I'm just doing this in the Memento Black. And I'm going to stamp it close to the right-hand side of this, like so. Okay, beautiful. And then I'm going to cut this down. So this is about 3¼ inch long. And then I'm just going to take the center, cut in, and then cut in that way, flip it, and cut in this way. So now I get a little flag end here, just like so. Now I'm going to take this, and this is going to get popped up right down here on the bottom. So I'm going to use 2 of the bigger dimensionals. And then, like I said, that's going to come right down here. And I'm taking that to where my designer series paper is. I'm not going all the way to the end of where the black is. Then we're going to go ahead and adhere that right to our card base. Hello, Ramona. Welcome. Hello, Cheryl. Okay, and then that is what our card is going to look like. I'm going to bring in a couple of my, where the heck did they go now? Oh, geez. Where the heck? I just had them. Oh, there they are. They got pushed down in there. I'm going to be using, this is the adhesive back metallic gems. So these are in silver, gold and copper. And so I need my take your pick tool because this has got this gummy junk on the bottom here. It kind of just hangs on to your gems here. I'm going to put one there, two there, just leaving a little bit of a space in between those, and three, just like so. And I like that it makes that propeller kind of stand out a little bit more. Okay, then on the inside, I am going to grab that paper again. And because we've got that designer series paper on the outside, we're going to go ahead and cut just a little strip of this. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch strip. And I'm going to do that at, let's see, what was our, by 5.5. That's going to go on our inside piece. Right down like so. But before I put that down there, I think I'm going to stamp. I think I'm going to stamp the cloud actually. Okay, so I'm going to grab that and I'm going to stamp that cloud right in the center. Just like so. Okay. And then we've got a couple of different options here. It says, "You're the best, plain and simple." We can do "Flying by to say hi to my friend," "You always lift me up," "Happiest Father's Day," "Happy birthday," and again, "You are the best, plain and simple." But as you can see, there's the little parts of this that this font all coordinates very well together. I'm going to say "to my friend." "You are the best, plain and simple, to my friend." Yep. Okay, so I'm going to grab my copper clay. And I'm going to stamp this right underneath that cloud. Just like that. So very, you know, kind of just little there. Let's get this put on here. But then we just tied everything together with our clouds on the front of our card. And then we have our designer series paper that we used on the front of the card, because we definitely want the inside of our card to be just as pretty as the outside. Okay, maybe not quite as pretty, but you want it to match. Okay, so there is card number 1. "You're the best, plain and simple, to my friend." Really cute, especially if you have a someone who is in the Air Force. I think this set would be a great set to keep around for many, many years, to send that person cards. You could do so much with these. So just know that it will last you quite a few years continuously making cards with this. Okay, let me get some of these cleaned off here so we can move on to card number 2. Yes, definitely wonderful masculine cards with these. Okay, so now let me get the next card base. The next one we're going to do, but let me move all my shenanigans out of the way. Okay, for the next one, we are going to need this block here. I'm going to be using this medium size plane because we do have a smaller one. So we need this medium size plane. Also, I need, I'm gonna put these clouds away. What else do I need? Oh, happy birthday. That's what I need. Okay, I think that's it. Yep. All right, simple as that. All right, so let me put these away. We don't need those cluttering things. What am I doing? Okay. The card base that we are using for this is the smoky slate gray that we have. It's kind of a brighter gray compared to the others. So we are going to go ahead and fold our card base. Now, what did I do with my bone folder here? Did I drop it off my desk? That could be a major possibility. Or it could be sitting right in front of my face. Did it go up underneath here? Nope. I don't know where my bone folder went. Anyways, we're just going to keep on trucking along here. It should show itself at any point in time. You would think. Who knows? Anyways. All right, there's our card base. Then we need to have a scrap of that smoky slate. We also, coming to that designer series paper, we need a 4 by 5 1/4. That will go right on the front of our card base, just like that. This paper is really fun. It's almost like a plane coordination where these planes have gone different places and you can see track their path. Then we are going to take a bunch of these different designs of this coordinating paper, and we are going to cut a bunch of little strips. So this is the one with the plane on there, and then I'm going to use this side too. So these are just little 1/2 inch strips. Actually, they're not 1/2 inch. They are more like, they're more like 3/8 actually. But let me see what I used on my other card. I can't imagine using an odd. Yeah, 3/8. So I've got all these little pieces here that I've cut. I've got a couple of gray ones. I need to cut some of this here. So I'm just going to keep it at the 3/8 since that's what I have. We'll do some longer ones. We'll do some shorter ones. Okay, we have the back side of that as well. We've got that green. Here's another airplane one, but we need to cut that down. So pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to go through all of your paper and you're just going to cut, even if you have scraps of paper, just cut them down just a little bit. This one, I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to cut it in half. We've got that. We've got the green on the back side of that. I'm going to do some of this blue striped. I like this pattern here. Again, kind of just cut that in half. Got a couple of those. We're going to do some of the cloud paper. Now you can make these strips bigger smaller. I mean, as far as width-wise, you can do anything you want. Okay, I think that's good for now. So then what I'm going to do before I put this piece on, I'm just going to take some of my strips. Now I'm going to look at these, and I don't want them the same length as my designer series paper. I'm going to just come in and I'm just going to cut them down and put one piece like there. I'm going to leave probably about a 1/2 inch on each side when I place these. Then I'm going to grab my green one, come in here, make this just a little bit shorter, and then move them. And I'm going to stagger them. They're going to go, some are taller, some are shorter, some are smaller, some are longer. Just staggering them in and out on here. Okay, that one, let's flip those planes around. That one's longer, so it's going to go right there. Let's straighten this up a bit so we don't look like we're drunk. Okay, that's going to go there. Then let's do one of these. Okay, let's grab a cloud. This one's kind of a little bit time consuming, but it is really neat when you get it done. So there's a cloud. We're going to use this little gray. That one's actually probably the perfect size. And then let's start again with that blue. Or no, let's use this blue because we don't have that on there yet. Let's go back to this blue. I thought I had a green. Maybe that's this one. Oh, there it is. I want green there. Kind of move things around just so you can kind of see. Kind of keep the colors flowing nicely together. Here's another cloud. What was this one? That was a cloud. That's blue. Let's do... I almost wish I had another plane. So let me cut another little strip of planes. Right here. So we're going to do another little 3/8. Okay, much better. All right, so I'm going to go like that. So then I can see that I have about a 1/2 inch on both sides. That's when I know that I'm done. And then I'm just going to start taking these and gluing these on here. And again, it is a little bit time consuming, but makes a really neat technique. Now I will show you that inside of our current annual catalog, there is a sketch page that gives us some really great ideas. Like if you're ever stuck and you're just like, oh my gosh, I cannot figure out a card to make as far as like a design, they have really helped us out. Like, because let's be honest, I get stuck sometimes as well. And so I really kind of go to those and use those as a guide to help me come up with ideas. So I will show you that when I get done here and show you where I got the idea for these, or for this card. And I'm just laying those right against there. So this is all smooth here because I'm just bumping them up to one another. And it's wonderful to use up those scraps of paper that you might have just sitting in the bottom of this card pack or this paper pack. And you're trying to come up with ideas to use it because you don't want to waste it. So it's one of those things that you can really get paper used up. Okay, so this one's going to go right there. Okay, there we go. Move all my little scraps out of the way. Now that is going to get adhered right there on the front of my card, like so. But we are going to use that smoky slate scrap, and we are going to grab our Stylish Shapes dies, and I am using this one right here. It is roughly, it's about 2 1/4 diameter. And so we're going to use that. Now I'm going to do something to this. I didn't do it to my sample card, but I saw somebody do something kind of like that. So I would just cut that out of my scrap. And I kind of thought it added some neat texture. So this is our Metallic Enamel Effects Basics. And I am using the color silver. And I'm just going to put a glop of that on this. And yes, I know I'm going to make a mess, but that's okay. Sometimes it's worth making messes. And I'm just going to take one of my little spatula things here. Now this is normally for our, what is that paste stuff called? And I'm just going to kind of spackle it on the front of this just to give a little bit of like texture to this little circle. So it's not just gray like our base, but it has a little bit of like a painted texture on the top of it. And I know it looks like turd right now. It just looks like a bird flew by and just made a mess, okay? I know it looks like that at the moment. But once we get something on top of that, I think it should look pretty good because it's just to add a little bit of something to our background. And it may not work. I don't know. We're going to test it. Okay, so now let's stamp our medium plain. I'm just going to use a scrap piece of basic white. Okay, like so. We are going to need our Versamark pad because we're going to do some heat embossing. I need to grab both of my, nope, that's Old Olive. We don't need Old Olive. Mossy Meadow is our coordinating color here. And you can do this in blue, you can do it in mossy, you can do it in whatever colors you want. But I coordinated it to match my scrap here that I'm going to be using. So using the dark Mossy Meadow, I'm just going to come in here and kind of darken up some of these areas that they've already added a little bit of shadowing to. And the undercarriage, because we know it would be darker than the top because it wouldn't be getting the sun unless our plane was upside down. And if that's the case, I would be throwing up all over myself. Okay, so then I'm going to grab the light mossy and I'm just going to bring that across here and just kind of blend those dark and light together. I just found out that my husband's nephew just got stationed over in the Middle East. And his wife lives in Washington, and they've got 3 beautiful little kids. So he originally was retired and then decided that he would go ahead and go back for 1 more year. I'm like, yeah, the 1 year you go back, they station you somewhere crazy like that. And he's a young kid. I mean, I think he might be 30. Okay, I'm gonna go like that. Now I'm going to take this is the light basic black. I'm just gonna kind of go on the outsides of the tire here to make it look like it's the dark rubber part. Okay, there's that. Then I'm going to use the coordinating die from our planes. So the medium one is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that just like so. Then I'm going to grab my little piece of washi tape that I have here just to hold that in place. Whoops, helps if I get the thing straight. Okay, so we just ran that through. Grab my washi tape here. And there's our super cute little plane. All right, and then set that up there. Now I need my Versamark and my happy birthday. And I'm just gonna stamp this on here because we're gonna use a die. So I'm just gonna do it towards the center so I can make sure my die will go around that whole area there. But I don't need to make it straight or anything like that because my die, when I center it on there, it will make it straight. I'm going to then grab my white embossing powder. And if you guys have seen in my store, we do have a new embossing powder that just recently got released. We have been out of our basics, which is the clear, the black, and the white, for quite some time. But they had a new company making the embossing powder. So now it is available to everybody. And it is called the Wow Basics and the Metallics for our embossing powders. So I'm just going to emboss this here, because I know people have been waiting for a very, very, very long time for our embossing powder to come back. Luckily, I don't emboss very often. I don't go through mine all very often, so I still have been using the old stuff. But just to let you guys know that we do have a new embossing powder. Okay, then there is this neat little arrow like banner. I'm going to line that up on there. like so. Again, grabbing my little piece of washi tape here. Oh my goodness, my husband is making burgers and I can smell them on the barbecue, and oh my God, does it smell like heaven. When he was getting off work today, he's like, so what are we doing for dinner? I'm like, I don't know, it's Monday, you cook dinner. And I go, oh, actually, I want burgers. So he's like, okay, I can do that. Barbecuing is my forte. And I go, I know, that's why I said it. And my son, I swear, if that kid could eat hamburgers like every day of his life, he would absolutely do it. So it makes him happy because my husband always makes quite a few of them. So then he's got leftovers because then he can just, you know, for the next day, he can just pop it in the microwave or whatever. Or he puts it in the air fryer. Okay, so there is that. So look how cute that little banner is. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually get this piece stuck on here. So see, this is one of those pieces that you can cut the different things down for the tags and whatnot. Okay, this is going to go right there. And I told him also we're going to do corn on the cob because we don't eat corn on the cob very often, because we have realized, which is very bizarre now, whether this be a thing or not, we have just noticed it in us that when we eat corn, whether it be canned corn, corn on the cob, whatever, us as older people, we notice the difference that it like makes our body hurt if we eat corn. I don't know what it is. I don't have an answer, but we don't eat corn very often, but I was definitely craving corn. Now I still can't find my other bone folder, so we're just going to use this bone folder. So there is that. Now what we're going to do, now see that pasty stuff has pretty much dried on there, but it just kind of gives it a shimmery little texture to it. I'm going to take my plane. I'm just going to pop my plane right up on that. Use a big one there and then a little dimensional right here. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing why it makes, like, my husband's knees will hurt. And like it took us forever to try to figure out what it was. Like, who would have thought that corn? But I have heard other people say that it affects them as well. So I'm just like, okay, well then we're going to blame it on the corn. Got to blame it on something, right? Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of manipulate it like it's blowing in the wind. So I'm going to put a dimensional here and a dimensional here at the end. And we're going to leave the center part kind of flowing up like it's in the wind. So we're going to take a little dimensional right there on the arrow part and the back part. Take a little bit of glue right here in the center. You don't have to do that because it's not like it's going to go anywhere, but now we're going to take that and make it look like it's coming out of the back of this plane. So like so and like so. And then we are going to glue this down. But because we didn't add any shimmer to our plane, I think it kind of looks good with that. It almost looks like it's a metallic, you know, like normally your plane would be a little bit silver or gold or copper or whatever. So this way, it just adds that to the background to give it kind of a metallic look. So there is card number 3. Let's figure out what we're going to do to the inside of this. I think we're going to grab one of those strips of paper because we can. I'm going to actually go with that blue. I like that. I really like this blue striped paper. So I'm going to cut I'm going to do a 1/2 inch for this inside piece because it's not going to have all the things on it. And I think I'm going to put that sentiment flying by to say hi. But I forget what the other sentiments are. Okay, there's that. Let's see what we have. Flying by to say hi. Yeah, I like that. That'll work. I just did happy birthday. I think I'm going to put that down here because I'm going to stamp a plain right there. And actually, I think I'm going to do that bigger plain right in the center. Or maybe actually I'm going to do the little plain. Yep, I'm going to do the little plain. And I'm going to stamp it a couple of times around in here. So let's do this one. And I'm going to stamp that in, I think I'm going to stamp it in mossy. Because we do need some of that green on the inside. I keep forgetting to fill this pad. Every week I use this and I'm like, I have to fill that, but then I don't. Okay, so let's take our black memento and I'm gonna stamp one right there, one kind of flying up here, and then maybe another one right over here. Perfect, because then that gives us space to still be able to write in there, but then we get all of our planes on there. And so let's go ahead and adhere that to the inside. Like so. I mean, and even if you wanted to, you could add some of those little clouds in there. That might be kind of fun. But there is card number 2. Oh, kielbasa, green beans, and baked potatoes. Oh, our baby potatoes. I make that all the time with the onions. Yes. You know what's really funny is when we were living up in Oregon, we had one of my husband's best friends come and stay with us for a while he was transitioning, living up in Portland with us. And he's the one that made that recipe for us. I had never had it before. Never have I ever heard of it before. He made it, and now it is like a staple in my home. So that's so funny that somebody else, because I had never heard of that. I was like, what a weird combo. And when he was making it, I was like, I don't know about all this. Potatoes, green beans, sausage. I was like, but then, like I said, it has become a staple in our home. So that's so funny that you say that. Alrighty, so there is card number 2. All right, so now let's grab, now card number 3 is a fun fold. It's got kind of some neat little angles going to it. If you've ever like watched me, I have a love for, they're called bridge. I think they're called bridge fold. I don't even know the name of them and I like them, but there's a really neat card that I'm going to share with you guys, and I don't even know what it, oh, a triple, what is it called? Oh, geez. You guys will probably know what it's called, so I don't need to sit here and ponder. Okay, where is there it is. Okay, so here's all of our stuff that we're going to need. Oh, see, there's that little silver piece that I was looking for. All right, so our card base is 11 by 4 1/4. We are going to score this. We are going to score this at 2 3/4. Whoops. 2 3/4. And then 5 1/2. Okay, 5 1/2. All right, so now we have our scores. Now we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in on itself with our other fold here. And then we're going to take this one and we are going to fold it back on itself. Okay, it's a triple Z fold. That's what it's called. Okay, so that is what our base is going to look like. It looks like a Z with a big extra long tail on there. Now we're going to take this piece here, which is the same color, that Night of Navy. This is 1 inch by 11. We're going to take it and we're going to score it the identical same way. So 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it in half and then fold it back on itself. Just like so. Okay, so there's both of our mechanisms. Now that's going to go opposite, but I'll show you that in just a minute. Here is our inside piece. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We then have a, oops, actually, you know what? I fibbed. We do need this out again. Then I have a piece of designer series paper. This is a 1 inch strip by 11. And again, I'm going to do the same thing, but because our mechanism is going to go opposite, I need my long side, and because this paper is directional, I need my long piece to be this way. So I'm going to flip this around just to keep it so you know. Hold your paper, well, actually, you know what? So you would need to now take this at 5 1/2 and score it. Open your arm up. I'm going to show you how to do it this way, and then I'll go back to the other way I was going to show you. So 5 1/2, and then you're going to move this down to where you're now at 8 1/4, and then score it again. So 5 1/2, and then 8 1/4. Or if you flip it upside down, you're going to score it identical to the way that I showed you before. You're going to go at 2 3/4, score, and then you're going to go to 5 1/2 and score, because we know this is going to be our long piece over here with no scoring. So now we're going to fold that in half and then fold that back on itself. So that goes with that little mechanism. So now when you see this, you're going to see that we have the same direction going as our paper. And you know what? I did that wrong. Yep, I did that wrong. So hold on a minute. I lied. Okay, I didn't lie. I just didn't do it correctly. Because it is going to be the same as this one. So we are going to take our paper, we're going to cut that at 1 inch. I'm going to cut 1 inch off of this to make it the 11 inches because it's 12 currently. And now I'm going to do the 2 3/4. Whoops, let's not cut that. 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. There we go. So I had it right the first time. I'm going to fold it in half and then fold this back on itself, because this piece needs to line up with our actual paper because it's going to be part of the design. Now this piece is going to be opposite. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. We then need 2 pieces of our copper clay. These are 3/4. This one is going to be 5.5 inches. It's going to actually go right here. And then we have one right here that is 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and, well, we need to put some stamping on that first. We have a stamp right here that has this texture. It looks like nailed down pieces of metal. So we're going to take this and I'm going to use Versamark because I only want a very light, where did my, there it is. Just going to kind of take this and just kind of rando stamp that on there. And I am leaving some white in there. Just like that. Or not white, but I mean, I'm leaving some unstamped pieces there. There we go. Just to give it a little bit of texture. Okay, now we're going to take our mechanism and hold that flat. Then we are going to take this longer piece, which is the 5.5, and we are going to adhere it right onto the long piece of this here. Now it's the same length, it's just going to give you a 1/2 inch in between to give you kind of a border. And this one we're not going to put anything on. We're going to leave that one alone. But we are going to put this one right here in between our score marks so it can still fold just like so. And then we need to set all of these pieces aside. We have a piece of our designer series paper here. I've decided to use the clouds. And this is 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. This is going to get adhered on our front flap here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Just like that. Then we need to take our inside piece and we are going to adhere that right inside here. Oh, my little dimensional backings are everywhere. Now this piece here, I think I told you it's 4 by 5 1/4. I again didn't tell you the truth. That is what is this? This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So again, it only has a 1/8 of an inch in between it. So I've left an 1/8 of an inch instead of a full 1/4 of an inch around the edges. Kind of kept this one a little bit tighter. We also need a scrap of this paper here is called, this is called the Textured Metallic 12 by 12 paper, gold. And then this color is called Tungsten. Tungsten is the color that I'm using. And then you have copper. So you need a scrap of that. And then you need a scrap of your Night of Navy. That is going to be what we're going to make our plane with. And then we need a piece of our little silver here. But because I already wound up cutting out 2 of those propellers, I probably won't need to cut that again because I already have a propeller sitting right here from our last piece that I cut with our first card. So let's go ahead and we can go ahead and adhere these pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this. So you're going to put this in your little Z part just like so. And we are going to lay this on here and we are going to take it all the way to the edge of our Night of Navy. Do not add any glue to any of these other pieces at the moment. Just add glue so you can see where this one pops up. Just add glue right here because that is what is going to connect to just this little front part. We want this to be able to move. So I'm going to take this, actually, you know what? We need to do this piece first. Sorry, I'm all over the place with this card. We need to actually adhere this piece first. So we're going to lay this down. We're only going to go to the designer series paper on this one. So we're going to go ahead and glue this whole thing down. So you're going to open this all the way up, go right to the edge or to the bottom of our paper down here, but it's going to go again all the way to the edge. And then we're going to stay right on our little white inside piece and go all the way across that as well. So you're still seeing that 1/8 of an inch of our Night of Navy. And that is how that's going to go. So then when that closes, you can see it still has that, but then we have just this really neat different design at the bottom. Now we're going to take this piece and we are going to take it right above the top of that designer series paper that we just put on there. Just hold this little piece on here because that's all we have glued at the moment. This piece is still free willy-nilly. And then we're going to just add glue. So if you open this out, we have this piece right here. Fold it back onto itself and you're only going to glue this back piece. And you're going to fold your card closed and then lay that right inside there and let that adhere right to your white piece. Yes, these clouds, I know, this paper is so cool. It can coordinate with so many different things. That's why I actually went ahead and bought a couple of packs of this paper because of that cloud. I really love that cloud paper too. Okay, so there is our card mechanism like that. So it looks kind of wonky to look at because you've got a long piece here, but then your long piece is back here. So we've pretty much flipped our mechanism opposite of what our card base is. But I'm going to show you why we do that because we're going to go ahead and do these pieces here. So I'm going to use, now in our die set here, we've got a plain body. Okay, and then we've got the plain, we have the wheels and the, what are these things called? Not fins. What are they called? What are the plain, yeah, these things. I can't think of what the heck they're called. So we're going to do this on the metallic, and then we're going to do just the body on the Night of Navy. And yes, I am dropping everything today. That's probably where my bone folder is, honestly. It's probably sitting down there on the ground somewhere. I will find it when we are done. So now I gotta find out what the heck I just dropped. It was probably that other bone folder. Oh, no, it's not. It was my ruler. Okay, so here are our pieces. We're going to punch that stuff out, and then same with that. There's our body. Wings. That's what they're called, wings. There you go. Jesus. Telling you, the brain is just not what it used to be. Sometimes back in the day when I was little, my favorite movie was Wizard of Oz. Now, the old Wizard of Oz. And I always was like, oh my gosh, what is this? If I only had a brain. Well, now, as I'm aging, I'm telling you, I really feel like I am the scarecrow, not the lion, but the scarecrow who only wanted a brain. I get it. I do. And it sucks because now it's realization. Okay, we're going to pop out all these little bits that don't belong here. Maybe if I can get them all out. Okay, we also have this little piece right here and right here. Okay, I think that is everything. Whoops, nope, see, missed another little piece. All right, so now what we need to do is we are going to take our little metallic piece and we are going to glue that right over the top of that to give that plane more of a realistic look to it. So all I need to glue to this is this bottom piece right here and the propeller part. Oh, and actually this little fin, this little tail thing, because this hangs above. Okay, like so. I'm also going to put a little dab of glue right here on the end of the propeller because we're going to actually put this piece right on there. Give that a second to adhere. Okay, there is our super cute, almost kind of 3D-ish looking plane. I love how those dies, those things all fit together like that. Okay, so now we're going to take this and I'm just going to set this right on here like that. I think what I'm going to do, because we've got kind of so much going on with this, I was thinking, should I pop this up? Maybe I will. So I'm going to take one of my little dimensionals and I'm going to put it right on this bigger wheel out of the two. And then I'm going to put some of these along here. I'm going to put the other one right there. Now I'm not going to put glue anywhere else on, or any kind of dimensionals anywhere else, because only this back portion is going to adhere to this front flap. And then the wheel is going to adhere to our mechanism. Because it almost has a 3D effect on this. So when I place this down, I'm just going to put my plane as if it is taking off into the air. Push those little pieces down. And there we have our little plane on this really cool little mechanism. You can stamp in the inside of here if you want to, but I wouldn't want anything that would kind of obscure the background of our plane. I was actually kind of contemplating about doing the cloud stamp, like putting some clouds, but they just wouldn't, I don't think it would look all that great because we already have the clouds over here. And if I tried to put clouds over here, they're not the same as those. You could probably try to do it in the, what color did I say that was? That is our boho blue. You could try to stamp those in the boho blue and see what you thought. They might work. But I just thought that is so cool. What I have seen done on these is you take your white inside and this is where you would write. You would actually take your white piece and you would put it on the back of your card, and this is where we would stamp our sentiment or whatever we wanted to say. Like, we could take this stamp right here, and I'm going to actually do it in copper clay. I'm going to take it in copper clay, and I'm going to stamp this off on a scrap piece of paper. If I can find a scrap piece of paper. So just a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to stamp that off once. And then I'm just going to do this once here. I'm going to do it again on a scrap. And then I'm going to flip this and just kind of go this way with it. Just like so. We can actually even finish that off by doing that. Okay. Now what I would do is take, I have my sentiment that I'm going to put on the front, which I decided to do Flying By to Say Hi, which I already have sitting here. I am going to do that in Night of Navy. Where did I put it? There it is. I'm just going to use just a little scrap here of white and stamp Flying By to Say Hi. Okay. I will cut this down because all I want is just a little kind of squarish, well, rectangle-ish. I'm going to cut that down just a skosh more. That is actually going to sit right behind that airplane like that. And then for my back piece, I have taken that same little thing and gone across here. But then I'm going to say, you always lift me up, because we haven't used that sentiment yet. And we are flying by to say hi. So we're going to take the blue again. And I can either do this right in the center, but again, I think I'm going to just stay in the bottom corner with this. Perfect. And then you still have places to write, and because we did a second generation stamp on that, it's still light enough that you could actually write, you know, over it a little bit and not have it obscure anything. So then I'm going to take my little sentiment here. We're going to place this right in the back of this plane. Just like so. Okay, Flying By to Say Hi. And then we'll flip this over. And then this will go right on the back here. So there is our third card with this really cool little mechanism here that is just kind of fun. It just kind of gives somebody, you know, something to kind of play with when they look at their card. Some people really like cards that are interactive, so this is one of them. Awesome, Lisa. I'm so glad you are going to play around with this. It is a very fun mechanism. So there are all three of our cards for tonight. If you have this set, here's some more great ideas for you to play around with. I'm so glad that you guys are all loving this. It's really kind of fun to come up with all these different ideas, going from something simple to a little bit more avid to, what do they call it? What are our three different, you've got your beginner, Now I can't remember. Something avid, casual, then avid. That's what it was. So then you've got your casual, and then you have more of an avid kind of card. Number 3 is your favorite. Yeah, I knew this was kind of going to be one that everybody likes because, again, it's something different than just a standard card, but it's not really easy. I probably made it look a lot harder to make than what it really is because I was screwing things up. But, you know, once you see all your pieces and the way that they line up, it kind of will make sense to you. Because you'll see that this needs to be the longer, but this one is going to be whatever designer series paper you use at the bottom is going to be the same as your card base. So hopefully that kind of explains things a little bit better. But there you guys go. There is my spin or my take on the Adventurous Sky. Now this does come in a full suite collection where you can get the paper and all the things, but I do have to let you guys know that the full suite collection is not available right now because we have the gems that go with it. They are actually on back order, so the whole suite collection is not available. They are called the trinkets. What are they called? Their actual terminal name. Industrial trinkets. They are not available right now. So if you were to try to put in this full suite collection code, it's going to tell you that it's not available. The only reason why it's telling you that is because the trinkets are not available. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get the bundle and the paper separately right now until, unless you want to wait for those trinkets to come in. I will tell you, they are neat, and I do have them from when I ordered this. But I'm going to kind of give you guys my thoughts on the trinkets. Now, where the heck are they? I had them sitting here because I wanted to show them to you. The trinkets are extremely heavy. So, there they are. So these are, like, the backs of them are solid metal, that they are quite heavy. They've got this really chunky back metal piece. Like, they weigh a lot. Like, when you pick this up, you're like, oh God, that has a lot of girth to it. They really do. When you add them to your cards, just remember we have to be very careful when we are mailing cards to not go over the 1 ounce. Cards have to stay under 1 ounce to be able to go on a regular stamp. Otherwise, you have to start adding more and more of your 1 cent or 5 cent or more, you know, money to your card to get it to go through the regular postal. So they are not good for mailing. Absolutely. So, I mean, if you can't get them right now and you want this set, I would say, you know what? Don't even worry about those at the moment. If you want them later, cool. But they are going to add weight. Now, to give the card to somebody, that's fine. But if you need to mail them, they're not good for mailing. Just my take on that. That's just my personal thoughts on that whole thing. So I just don't want to, discourage anybody, but, you know, take it for what it is. All right, you guys, have a very, very wonderful rest of your week. I know it's just started, but have a good, safe week out there. I love you all. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me, and I will see you guys next Monday. All right, you guys, bye-bye.